One Question is designed to give subscribers valuable insights on how executive leaders in college athletics think about key issues on their respective campuses, in their departments, or within their leagues and conferences.
Greetings, this is Ty Brown and welcome to One Question, where we highlight executive leaders in college athletics. Our guest today is Kathryne Buckley. Kathryne is the Assistant Vice President for Partner and Event Services for the Frisco RoughRiders. Greetings, Kathryne. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, Ty. Thanks for having me on.
Now, Kathryne, my experience with you in terms of me running my own business was activating some sponsorships in the past with you at the Frisco RoughRiders. And what I noticed is that you have a penchant for developing young professionals. So I want to ask you two questions here. The first is the title you have, Assistant Vice President. Tell me about the leadership aspect of that title with regard to the operation there at Frisco RoughRiders.
Absolutely. So as the Assistant Vice President for Partner and Event Services, then I oversee our corporate partner department and work with our team that does all the fulfillment for our partner services and all of our corporate sponsors that we bring into the ballpark. From an event standpoint, then I oversee all of the events that we bring into the ballpark as well, be it game day or all of the non-game day events, some of our most popular ones with the Frisco Classic, the Dirt Heroes Celebrity Baseball Game, or the Red River Celebrity Softball Game. So just working with those staffs, not only the third-party promoters, but as well as our staff within the ballpark. And from a leadership standpoint, just being as organized as I can so that we're able to run a very smooth event to where when the fans are coming in, our clients, our guests, everyone, is excited to be coming to the ballpark. And regardless if it's a RoughRiders event or a non-RoughRiders event, everything just runs really seamlessly and we're all coordinating together, communicating as one team.
Now, how involved are you with either bringing in partners or coming up with ideas and ideation for activating whatever they want to spend their money on with the RoughRiders?
Of course, yes. So right now, working with our president and general manager, Andy Milovich, to, prospect out what are some prospective sponsors looking to come into the ballpark. And then every week we actually meet as a team with our marketing department and our entertainment department to come up with those ideas. So which partners are out there that we're pitching to, become a potential sponsor within the ballpark, and what exactly are they looking to activate on? Are they looking for lead generation? Are they looking for name recognition, that brand recognition within the ballpark? And so are we looking to create a fun sign for them? Or are we looking to create a fun in-game promotion, a nice little giveaway, things of that nature? So it's really all individualizing out the partners so that we can build those custom packages for them and not anything. Everything is very unique there. So again, just doing your research, working with the team. There's lots of communication. So I would say communication is the key there for us to be able to reach up across departments, but then also within the partners themselves. Just the best way is just to visit with them and figure out what they want and then bring it back internally to brainstorm.
Right. So I guess you try your best to avoid formulas, right? You don't want to have a formulaic approach to activating sponsorships or partnerships.
Absolutely, yes. So within minor league baseball, it's really nice because we can be so creative, kind of a little bit different than your major league sports, or a lot of us having had a background, with me personally having come from Texas A&M University and working with a lot of their different sports teams, and how can you make that outside of the game, that's on the court, because you can't control the product that you're playing. So how do the players and everything like that, those come from the Rangers. And so how do we activate within the in-game inning breaks to really make it an entertainment event that people are attending? And then, like you said, no cookie cutter packages for us. Everything is custom built, and that's the best way. How can we really activate for our partners and really make it about them? And then people will see, one of the examples that we have is a braces dig for an orthodontics. And so we'll put a pile of dirt behind second base after a game, in between the game and our fireworks show, and people will be able to sign up to go compete in that. So adults are competing for their children to win braces, free braces. So it's an awesome promotion, but again, like where else are you seeing that? But that promotion wouldn't fit for one of our other partners, who doesn't need to do a braces dig.
Exactly. Well, one thing I've always wondered about this aspect of college athletics and professional athletics and sports in general is, how do your partners evaluate the success of something like that? I mean, obviously, if there's a lot of participation, then that's great. And giving away braces, somebody could definitely remember which practice was giving away braces. But on other things, giveaways, whatever it is, how do they evaluate their own success? And do they come back to you? And I guess if they renew, that means they were happy with it. Or to tell me about the evaluation process on both ends, you and then your partners.
Of course. So that's another question that we ask, whenever we're doing these in-game promotion or custom promotions. It's like, how are you evaluating our success? What is the return on investment for you? And nowadays you look at everything going very digital and everybody evaluating all the analytics behind it. And so it's, are you looking for lead generation? Again, some people are just looking for brand recognition. So how do you evaluate that? Because you can say, okay, we've had X number of people come through the ballpark, come through our facility, not only through our games, but through all of the non-game day events as well. So you think about their eyeballs on the signage and things of that nature. And so really it's just diving down into, just like we're building those custom partnership packages, now we're having to build the custom return on investment for them. And everyone evaluates it differently. So you're just having to dive in and figure out one by one, how are they evaluating this and what can you do to make sure that is being successful? Probably the easiest to give an example of is lead generation. They're expecting 200 leads, and that's what, a night, and that will give them their return on investment for what they're spending with us. So those are easy number-based ones. Like I said, the other ones where the cost of impressions, things of that nature, you just kind of look at and mostly try and continue to build as much fan engagement as we can so that we're filling the ballpark every night.
Yeah, I wonder about it in terms of, you're thinking about the industry of most people who listen to this are in college athletics, and the two big companies have merged, Learfield, IMG, and I've always wondered, while the RoughRiders, you guys may activate something and think it went excellent, right? You've given out a number of things, people saw it, people were engaged. Has there ever been a time when you guys thought it went very well, when the partner probably wasn't happy with the return they got on it? And this will be the last question I ask about it, because I do want to talk about your involvement with young professionals. But that, the different, you might think it went well and they didn't think it.
Absolutely. So something that's really interesting in talking about from an agency perspective, we have the ability to work with the corporate partner directly, but then also a lot of them have agencies. And so for corporate partners, sometimes they're looking for that experience, that emotional connection. And that's something in minor league baseball that we're really able to dive into and connect, because we have that creativity and flexibility. From an agency standpoint, they're looking for those numbers in the analytics side and the data. And so just kind of helping them work together to really understand, like, our partner is extremely happy. And from an agency perspective, like, we're going to give you as much information as we can, diving in to, again, all of our data and analytics side that we can. We now have a full-time business intelligence specialist that's what he does every day. And so I'll send him over some things of, can you help me evaluate this? Can you give me a different perspective on it, so that we just make sure that we're communicating back to our partners. But I think that that's the thing, that we never had a partner unhappy in that sense. It's more so of helping the agency understand sometimes it's a little bit more than the numbers, and really come out to the game, experience it yourself, so that you can understand whenever, the numbers that are on the chart type thing.
What we're doing, it sounds like communication up front is of the utmost importance, so that when you do execute, we are executing, giving you what we said you expected of us, and everybody's happy in the evaluation at the end.
Absolutely. I think, and that's something that I tell my team all the time is communication, communication, communication. There's a lot going on, lots of moving pieces to what we do. And that goes for all sports, having been at the middle school and high school level and then the collegiate level. And of course, now at the professional level is just continue to communicate because that's something that doesn't go unnoticed and will normally help you continue to advance in your career as well.
Well, Kathryne, you talk about your team, right? And I mentioned that from working with you, I saw that you had a number of young professionals. I think most of them were interns working with you, and they worked at a high level. And you have to put things in place so that environment is created and maintained. Can you give me a few aspects of what you do in terms of recruiting, in terms of operations, and in terms of sending people off to be, whenever they get full-time jobs or if you hire them to work with you, of creating that environment for young professionals to be successful there at the RoughRiders?
Absolutely. So I do have a small team, but then even larger, of course, is our intern team, like you mentioned. And we need them to come in and be professionals right off the bat and understand what we're doing and that we are working with high-level corporations, corporate partners, and that it's not, very rarely do we use the word sponsor or advertising, things of that nature. We truly believe it's a true partnership that we build. And so we pass that on to our interns and letting them know, like, the people that you're interacting with, they could one day be hiring, and they're going to look at your experiences within the ballpark and say, "Ooh, they didn't do a great job," or they, weren't positive attitude, weren't willing to help. And so why would I want to put them on my team? So kind of the way that I look at it from the very beginning is, and now we have an HR department, so being able to work with her to continue to recruit the high level, for our summer internships, we hire about 20 interns across all departments, and I have 10 specifically with the sales and promotions team as well as corporate partnerships, and just trying to get the highest quality individuals, but then also realizing that there could be a freshman out there and they've worked extremely hard during high school and, through their freshman year, maybe don't have all the experience that somebody else does, but they have a positive attitude, a smile on their face, did a really good interview, and they're willing to come in and, you're like, I'm going to take a chance on an underclassman, if you will, because a lot of internships, they're kind of more junior, senior range, but how do you get that first experience? Because later on, whenever we're looking to hire full-time employees, we're going to look at your experience and see what you have out there. But we just know too that, from an internship standpoint, if you can be flexible, have a positive attitude, and be willing to work hard, then we can teach you everything that you need to know. And so then going from there, it's a 13-week long interview. You're thinking about every day you're showing up. Are you showing up on time? Again, are you showing up? Do you have that smile on your face? If I ask you, unfortunately, our mascot canceled, can you jump in the mascot suit? And you don't really want to do that or don't have an attitude, a good positive feeling about it, then we're going to struggle a little bit because my motto is I would never ask you to do something that I would not do myself. And 9 times out of 10, I'm going to be right there beside you doing it as well. And so I just think, having grown up in sports and being a high school athlete, being a collegiate athlete, that team, it never leaves you. And so that's something that whenever you're continuing to work in sports, and for me in minor league baseball now, that we're very team oriented. And if we can focus on that and be a good team, then we're going to continue to be successful. You never know where you will end up. The sports industry is such a small environment, and very, people are very keyed in. So it's like there's so many opportunities out there. But when people see, oh, you're part of the Frisco RoughRiders, they're going to give us a call and say, hey, how is this person? What would you say about that? And keeping that in mind, that what you do for us is potentially going to affect kind of later on how you end up. And that's what I always tell them. Like, I'll be happy to recommend you and I'll give the best recommendation that I possibly can, as long as you come in and work. But I'm not going to attach my name to someone who doesn't put forth the effort, because now that's my tree growing out And so just being mindful of that, and the ones that take you up on it, and really come in and work hard, then they're doing great things for themselves.
Right. I call it earning jerseys, right? Once they leave, they have earned the Kathryne Buckley jersey. They wear your jersey out in the public. You identified some key points there, and I'll wrap with this, but you need to define the qualities of a person before you bring them in, right? That helps tremendously, right? And once they get in, be very communicative in explaining the expectations that you want them to work under, and also live the expectations that you have, right? If you need to put the mascot on because nobody else can, then you'll have to do it. And I've seen that in person with you. So that's excellent. I think you've covered a lot in terms of what you guys do at the RoughRiders and how you have tried to create and maintain that environment. I really appreciate you joining us here on One Question.
Of course. Thanks for having me, Ty.
That was Kathryne Buckley. She's the Assistant Vice President for Partnership and Events for the Frisco RoughRiders. And of course, this is Ty Brown with One Question. And keep in mind, the role of a leader is to create and maintain an environment that people want to be a part of. And as always, be better tomorrow than you are today. This episode of One Question is produced by Spades Media Group, solving problems using creative leadership.